So what did you make of today's game?
It's hard game, as you would expect when you play one of the top teams in the league. You spend a lot of time without the ball, you're chasing. So I suppose it panned out as probably most would have expected it to.
In terms of the way you played though in the first half, it was a tight game, you looked strong defensively. It was when they got their opening goal, it seemed like the floodgates opened a little bit. Huge
frustration there, because you've went 30 minutes and not really conceded many chances. They've had a few kind of balls across, a couple of corners, but nothing really clear cut. And then I think it's been 2 own goals on crosses, which we spoke about, the way they enjoy getting wide and putting crosses in, stretching the pitch, which is why we set up the way we did. And then also a shot from around the box, which is another area we talked in depth about. And the fact it was 3 in 3 minutes, it just absolutely killed us, and that's something that really disappoints, that the game was done and dusted, really, at that point.
They're a clinical team, so when they get those opportunities, they do tend to take them. But I guess it might give you some good confidence knowing that you defended so well for half an hour against such a...
Yeah, I think generally we defended pretty well. It's just those punctuated by those couple of goals at different moments. I think we didn't give up a lot of chances. There was a couple near the end, but I don't think we were... It was funny, I felt the game at Easter Road, it was constant chances, and we were fortunate to come away with a 5-1. Whereas today it felt as though there wasn't as many chances from them, but it looked like they would score more. It was strange from that point of view. But in the second half we posed a little bit more of a threat going forward the other way. We probably might have scored in one of our counter-attacks. But it's been, I'm sure every team's going through it at the moment, but we've got players who are just back from holiday, haven't trained yet. So it was kind of that dictated a lot of the team selection today as well, suspensions as well. So yeah, it was a kind of tough one from that point of view, but I'm not disappointed in the players and the way they've went about their business in the second half.
You're back a week earlier than most teams. Does that give you a benefit perhaps going into what is a really big game next week?
I suppose we'll only ever know until after next week, and it's hard to kind of say whether it will be or it won't. Just the way the fixtures worked out. I suppose if we'd played a friendly today, it wouldn't have been as intense, and we maybe wouldn't have got as much, but maybe more players would have got minutes rather than sticking with the same sort of 8 or 9 for longer. So we'll wait and see. We're hopeful that that'll pay dividends for us next week, that's for sure.
Looking ahead to that match, how big a game is it from your perspective?
I think it's a big game because you're playing a team that's round about you. Same as, I think outside Glasgow City, Hibs, maybe Celtic, everybody looks at everybody and thinks they can get points. So I think from that point of view, whether you do or you don't, that's the way everybody views it. So I think that'll be the challenge next week, is making sure we can keep that concentration. If we do defend as well as we did today, I know we've lost 5 goals and it sounds strange to say, that'll put you in good stead against a team who aren't as good as Hibs, or any team in the league that don't attack you as well as Hibs do. So it'll be hard. They've obviously changed manager, which is obviously will bring no doubt a change to them, but it's quite often we've played the team that have changed the manager, so we've been the next match, so nothing new there. So we'll prepare as best we can this week. But as I say, we've got most of the players are now back, and that hopefully stand us in good stead going into the next few weeks. Never mind just next week.